So in this video I will be talking about pediatrics growth charts. These are very important for pediatric practical examination MBBS. So starting with the types of growth chart, there are mainly two types. That is, first one is WHO growth charts, second is Indian Association of Pediatrics growth charts. WHO is for less than 5 years of age and IAP charts are for 5 to 18 years. Mainly in MBBS practical examination, we do anthropometry for less than 5 years of age. Metry is done. Okay. So for the boys, blue chart is used, WHO. These are WHO. And for girls, pink chart is used. So going to the first chart, that is the weight for height chart. It is a mainly indication of undernutrition. Okay. So starting with the example, let us take the height of the boy child to be 100 centimeter, and weight is around, let's take 16 kg. So first of all, we have to plot, that is the 100 centimeter and 16 kg. It is coming here. Okay. So after plotting the graph, we have to trace it back towards the end and see between which standard deviation it is falling. So in this graph, in this our imaginary example which we have taken, so it is falling between 0 and 1 standard deviation. These are standard deviation, plus 2 standard deviation, plus 3 standard deviation. 0 is the mean. Okay, mean means mean means 50th percentile. This plus 1 standard deviation means 85th percentile, plus 2 standard deviation means 97, and 3 plus 3 standard deviation means 99.8. So what does this percentile means? It means, suppose in this example, the weight for height is falling between plus 0, that is 0, and plus 1 standard deviation. So it is more than 50% of the population of the same age and sex. That is, it is between plus 1 and 0, means more than 50% of population of same age and sex. Okay. So suppose another graph is falling between plus 2 and plus 3 standard deviation. Suppose plus 2 and its weight, suppose height is 115. Suppose the x coordinate is 115 and the y coordinate is 26. Suppose the height is 115 centimeter and weight is 26 kg. So it is falling here. Okay. So if we trace it, it is falling between plus 2 and plus 3 standard deviation. What does it mean? It means that the weight of the child is more than 97th percentile. This is the, okay, that is the weight of the child is more than 97th percentile of the population of the same age and sex. Suppose then how to interpret this chart? Okay, for interpretation we take wasting. First, wasting, we will call it wasting if the graph is falling between, if the graph is falling less than 3rd percentile or minus 2 standard deviation. That is, if the graph is falling here, suppose if we take a point here and trace it back then it is less than minus 2 standard deviation, right? If we take this plotting and trace it back, it is less than minus 2 standard deviation. That is, we can, at that point we can say that the weight is very less compared to the height attained by the child. So in this is indicator of undernutrition. So we call this wasting. That is when the weight for height is less than minus 2 standard deviation. Okay, we will mark it with red, minus, less than minus 2 standard deviation. And severe wasting is when we will call when the weight for the height of the children is less than minus 3 standard deviation. And overweight, we will call overweight when the weight for the height is more than plus 2, that is between plus 2 to plus 3 standard deviation. Severely overweight we will call when the weight is more than plus 3 standard deviation. This is used for girls, it is pink color. Okay, so now going to the second graph, that is the head circumference. For boys it will be blue, for girls I have taken the example of a pink chart. So suppose the head circumference is around 46 centimeter, this is just for example, and the age is suppose around 4 years. Okay, so if we plot the graph, plotting the graph will take our point 2, this is 4 years, and this is, here comes 46 centimeter, right? Is it okay? Okay, 46 centimeter. So it is coming, if we trace the back, it is coming less than minus 2 standard deviation. Okay, so if the, what is microcephaly? That is small head. Cephaly is head, micro is small. Okay, so we will call it microcephaly. That is when the head circumference is less than minus 2 standard deviation, and macrocephaly when the head circumference is more than plus 2 standard deviation. Okay, so here the head circumference part is done. Suppose a graph, if we again take an example of a point, suppose here it is going towards plus 1 and 0, that is, it is normal. Okay, so like this. So then comes the length or height for age graph. This is very important graph, it is most commonly asked. So height for age, for girls it is pink, for boys, girls or boys, whatever, I'm just taking an example. So suppose age is 4 years and height is suppose 90 centimeter. Okay, so 90 centimeter, if we trace, age is 4 years, it is coming to here. Okay, so see clearly, if we trace this line, this point is falling on the minus 3 standard deviation. That is, it is a case of severe stunting. We will call short stature. A child is said to be short stature when his height is less than minus 2 standard deviation. When his height is less than minus 2 standard deviation. And severe stunting is when height is less than minus 3 standard deviation. So this example which we have taken is a case of severe stunting, right? Let's make it clear. Less than minus 2 standard deviation is short stature, and severe stunting is minus 3 standard deviation. Again, in exam they also can ask what is the percentile. So minus 2 standard deviation is less than third percentile, and minus 3 standard deviation is actually less than 0.113 percentile. Okay, so we have only two graphs left. Then there is weight for age. Weight for age is actually okay. Let's start with an example. Suppose the age is 4 years and weight is around 10 kilo. Okay, so we take black color ink and we trace the 10 points towards 4 years, right? It is coming very less, so it is less than -3 standard deviation. It is severely underweight. Okay, so we categorize two parts: severely underweight, another is underweight. So severely underweight is when it is less than -3 standard deviation. Underweight is when it is less than third percentile or less than -2 standard deviation. If we take another example, suppose 3 years and weight is around 18 kilo. If we trace the point 18 and 3 years, it is coming here. If we trace it back, so it is clearly falling between 0 and 2 standard deviation. So it is in the normal range. Okay, so these are the only two important interpretations. Another graph is for BMI, body mass index. Okay, it is given WHO chart for 5 to 19 years. Because in anthropometry we don't calculate the BMI for less than 5 years of age. BMI chart we do for more than 5 years, that is after finding the weight and height. Okay, so it is very simple. The graph is clearly given what is obesity. This is if the plotting is falling in between +2 and +1 standard deviation, it is overweight. If it is 0 and 1 between, it is normal. Between +1 to -2 standard deviation, okay, it is normal. And -2 to -3, it is thinness, and if it is less than -3, it is severe thinness. Just plot the age by looking at the age, and after finding the BMI, we plot the graph. Finding BMI is very easy. BMI, I hope all of you know. Weight by height in meter square. Okay, so that's it, our important charts, pediatric chart, which are very important for MBBS final examination. Thank you.